Imagine walking into your own home, only to find your wife on her knees pleasuring your closest friend. James Holloway was the most respected man in town, a decorated detective with a spotless record. A husband. A mentor. A man who lived for justice, and believed deeply in love. But what happens when the very people you trust, your wife, and your protégé, begin plotting your murder? This isn't a movie. This isn't fiction. This is a true story. But before we dive into this unsettling story of a family destroyed from within, make sure to like and subscribe to True Crime TChan. This one will leave you questioning the signs we often ignore in the people we trust most, like the late-night shifts that don't add up, the phone always locked and hidden, the missing warmth at home, and the friend who starts coming around just a little too often. Briar Ridge was the kind of town where time moved slow and neighbors waved at passing cars. The crime rate was low. The gossip was high. And everyone knew the name James Holloway. He wasn't just a detective, he was the detective. 15 years on the force. Over 50 major cases solved. Not once had he drawn his service weapon. He didn't need to. His presence alone calmed chaos. Tall, composed, steady. The kind of man who spoke softly but was always heard. When he walked into a room, people sat straighter. And at home? He had Anna. His wife of 9 years. A respected ER nurse. Compassionate. Brilliant. The kind of woman who lit up rooms and comforted strangers. Together, they were called the Golden Couple. To everyone in Briar Ridge, James Holloway had it all. But no one ever sees the cracks forming beneath the paint, until the whole house collapses. James first noticed changes in the little things. Missed dinners. Locked phones. Sudden work shifts. Anna's kisses, once soft and lingering, became dry and distant. Her eyes no longer lingered on him. Her voice turned mechanical. She started whispering during phone calls in the laundry room. Her schedule became erratic. She'd leave late and come back later. Her scrub smelled freshly laundered, too fresh for 12-hour shifts. Still. James didn't press. He wanted to believe. Until one evening, everything unraveled. Anna told him she was covering a night shift. She kissed him on the cheek and left. But that gnawing feeling in his gut, the one no cop ever ignores, tightened like a vice. He called the hospital. Quietly. The nurse at the desk flipped a few pages. "I'm sorry, sir. Anna Holloway isn't on duty tonight." Click. Silence. Something inside him shifted. That night, it rained. Hard. James followed her. She didn't go to the hospital. She drove west, out of town, down a dark 2-lane road to a place where no one should go for love. The Red Pine Motel. Room 212. She parked. Waited. Entered. 10 minutes later, another car pulled in. Out stepped Eric Shaw. Fresh-faced. Ambitious. A young officer James had trained from the academy. James had shown him how to take a suspect's statement. How to stay calm at a scene. How to earn trust. He'd even invited him for Thanksgiving dinner. And now, here he was. Walking into a motel room with Anna. The kiss they shared was long. Passionate. Familiar. James didn't flinch. Didn't scream. Didn't slam the door or storm the room. He became a detective again. Cold. Focused. Relentless. Over the next week, James built a private investigation around them. He planted GPS trackers. Cloned Anna's phone. Hacked Eric's messages. He even managed to slip into room 212 during a routine motel maintenance and install a recording device. He listened to hours of silence. Until one night, he heard them. "Eric, if we do this right, no one will know." He dies in his sleep, natural causes. Anna, are you sure about this? Eric, I love you. And I'm not living in his shadow anymore. They weren't just betraying him. They were planning his death. James shared the recordings with one person, his partner of 10 years, Detective Karen Doyle. She was no nonsense. Sharp. Tough as nails. But when she heard those tapes, even she had to walk away and scream into the void. You mentored that kid, she spat. You fed him. And now he wants to bury you. Together, they launched a covert investigation. They recovered deleted texts. Encrypted emails. Bank transfers routed through offshore accounts. Cryptic purchases from a dark web vendor previously flagged in a narcotics case. The product? Aconitine. A plant-based poison. Virtually untraceable after ingestion. It mimicked cardiac arrest. Fast. Fatal. Perfect. Then they found the blueprint. A file on Eric's laptop titled Freedom Friday. It read like a movie script. 1. James leaves for a shift. 2. Poison laced in bourbon. 3. Anna finds him unresponsive. 4. She cries on the 911 call. 5. James is cremated per his wishes. 6. $800,000 life insurance split 2 ways. This wasn't passion. This wasn't desperation. It was premeditated, cold-blooded murder. They had one shot to catch them in the act. James pretended to take a late-night surveillance shift. In truth, he checked into a safe house while Karen and a tactical team wired his home with cameras, motion sensors, and microphones. At 8:43 p.m., Anna entered the house. No scrubs. Designer handbag. Gloves tucked inside. At 9:12 p.m., Eric slipped in through the back door. He didn't hesitate. He reached for the bourbon. Uncapped a vial. And began pouring. Karen's voice crackled through the radio, "Go." Moments later, boots crashed through the door. Eric froze. Anna screamed. The bottle slipped through Eric's hands and shattered on the floor. It was over. The courtroom was packed. Reporters. Detectives. Civilians who once called James and Anna the perfect couple. Eric claimed he'd been framed. Anna stayed silent until the pressure cracked her wide open. On the stand, trembling, mascara streaked down her cheeks, she whispered. "I didn't think we'd go through with it. Eric told me it was the only way we could be together." The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours. Eric, 32 years, no parole. Anna, 12 years for conspiracy and attempted murder. James didn't celebrate. There were no high fives. No toasts. No peace. He sold the house. Packed up his life. Vanished. For 6 months, he drifted from town to town, working under false names, sleeping in dingy motels, searching for the man he used to be. Karen found him. "You're still needed," she said. "Not in the field. But to guide the ones coming up behind you." He returned to the department. Took a quiet desk. Solved cold cases. Mentored rookies. He never remarried. He never trusted easily again. In a locked drawer, inside his modest home, sits a bottle of bourbon. Unopened. Not the one that could have killed him. But the same brand. He keeps it as a reminder. That evil doesn't always kick down doors. Sometimes, it slips through the cracks of a kiss. Sometimes, it sleeps beside you. And sometimes, justice begins at home. What would you do if your spouse and best friend plotted your murder? Would you confront them? Or become the hunter in your own story? Let us know in the comments. And if this story gripped you, like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss another true crime tale. Until next time, stay safe. And trust carefully.